Among audience, we already have our speakers as well, I guess. Kamrangsi
Great.
Sensei and Danar Sensei. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good
Ohayo
afternoon here in Japan.
gozaimasu.
Ohayo
Ohayou gozaimasu.
gozaimasu. Good to see you all today. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, I have to change my background.
Yes, if you can, please.
Oh, wait. Okay. Genki dan Adusang.
Hi, Genki. Yes,
Nice to meet
Maisa.
you. I don't know how to call you. Sensei from Hirodai. Not Sensei.
We have Maeda Sensei here.
Oh, Karashima-san. Ohayo gozaimasu. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi, ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah, we can see you here from the room.
Oh, okay, Maeda Sensei.
It's so unfortunate not to have you here, Maisa.
Yeah, so sorry. No, I'm at West Sumatra in Padang because of my duty.
Yeah, very busy schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it seems we are ready. Shall we start? Mulai ya, Mbak?
Okay.
Okay. Good morning from Jakarta. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Welcome to the second seminar of Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia chapter with the theme of Food Science and Technology. My name is Novi and I am one of the co-founders of this alumni association. Today I act as the master of ceremony as well. It is an honor for me to be with you. First of all, I would like to greet our honorary guest and audience, Dr. Siti Maimuna, as the chairwoman and all the committee in Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia chapter or HUAA-I. Professor Shinji Kaneko, the Vice President for Global Initiatives, Hiroshima University. Professor Teruo Maeda as the Special Assigned Professor from Hiroshima University for Indonesia Alumni Network, who will also act as the moderator today. And all the supporting members in Hiroshima University, thank you for great friendship and cooperation. Mr. Hiroshi Karashima, President Director of PT Sumitomo Indonesia, for continued support to our Alumni Association. We are very grateful for your generosity. I would like to extend our gratitude to our speakers for today, Mr. Danar Praseptiangga, PhD, a professor from Universitas 11 Maret, Indonesia. Ms. Tanut Chaporn Kamrangsi, PhD, a professor from Hiroshima University, Japan. Thank you very much for willing to share with us today. Of course, to the alumni who joined today, and last but not least, to all the participants. Let's give big applause for being together today. Ladies and gentlemen, our agenda today consists of three main parts. We will listen to Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia introduction that will be shared by Dr. Siti Maimuna as the chairwoman. Afterwards, we will have two presentations who will be chaired by Professor Maeda, followed with last part, discussion session that is open for all the audience. All right. Before we move to the next agenda, please allow us to remind that this seminar is being live streamed in YouTube and some pictures and videos may be shared afterwards in Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia social media or Hiroshima University website. We hope you don't mind. To make sure this seminar will go well, please do not unmute your microphone unless it is very necessary, and please fill the attendance form that will be shared from the chat box. And lastly, please use the virtual background if possible. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our first agenda, please welcome the Chairwoman of Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia, Ms. Siti Maimunah.
Okay, thank you, Nafisa. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't attend directly at the room seminar, and then I'm joining by online since I have a duty to the West Sumatra. Hope my voice can hear clearly.
Yes, very clear.
Okay, as the chairman of the Hiroshima University Alumni Association, I will try to explain about the Alumni Association itself to all of you. I don't know, maybe some of you still just the first time joining with us, and then for all of you already know about this one. I think this can more encourage to more have activity after this, and then because actually the current situation, not so many activities we are doing for the Hiroshima Alumni Association, but after this, we wish many things, many activities that we can do. Okay, I will try to share. I will share by myself, right? No, please.
Yes, if you can, please.
Okay. Did my slides already? That you can see my slide already?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, this one is we call the name with the Alumni Association of Hiroshima University in Indonesia, Persatuan Alumni Hiroshima Degaku. Okay, this one the content what my presentation today about the general Indonesia at glance. I think yeah, for the Indonesian you know well about this one, and then about the Hiroshima University itself, and about the statistic of the alumni, and also the history of this alumni association, legal information, organization structure, national council office, and also the corporate membership program. So this one that I want to present this morning. And this one is the general information about the Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia currently Indonesia GDP is getting increase and increase year by year, and then the GDP in Indonesia was what 1,186 billion US dollar in 2021, and then according to the official data from the World Bank, this GDP value of Indonesia represents 0.53% of the world economy. And then for the Indonesia population itself, here we can see this Indonesian population. Yeah, we are still growing, but getting more stable, not really growing and growing. And then the current population in Indonesia is about 275 million 501 this thousand. This one is the number of the population in Indonesia, quite huge actually, since we are also the biggest five of the world population in the world population. And then this one about the Hiroshima University. Yes, maybe everyone, some of you already know about this one. We have 3 campus in of the Hiroshima University itself, in the Higashi Senda campus, Kasumi campus, and also Higashi Hiroshima campus. And then most of us alumni from the Higashi Hiroshima campuses. This one is the headquarters of the Hiroshima University. And then this slide explain about the alumni statistic of Hiroshima University in Indonesia. And then the number of graduate based on the number of the graduation since 1988, and then getting increase and increase until now. Actually, we have the data still until 2019, but we are trying to update it until the current year, but still in the process. And then the number of the cumulative of this graduation, totally, yeah, more than 800 of the alumni of the Hiroshima University in Indonesia. Yeah, this one quite big number. And then we try in this statistic, we excluding the 176 students whose year of the departure is unknown. So we try to make the data clean of this alumni statistic. And then as the general for the alumni profile, we can see here the occupation. There is in the government officer, doctor, professor, lecturer, researcher, engineer, private company employee, CEO, part-timer, freelancer, and also as the business owner. And then about the affiliation of the alumni is in the ministries, embassies, national agency, national universities, private university, private companies, and also regional government, hospital, as well as in the clinic. And then they are about the field of work, education, policies, chemistry, biotechnology, engineering, urban studies, social studies, environment, and also energy, forestry, agriculture, and also the human resource here. And then this one, the history about the Hiroshima University Alumni Association. The first initiative actually started in the webinar in June 2021. This one as the webinar volume 1, we call that one. And then this actually this one the first step to make the Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia. And then after that, we make the second webinar in July 2021. And then the third webinar, webinar volume 3 in November 2021. And then there's also group forum Facebook in the December 2021, we already created. And then the establishment actually for this Hiroshima University Alumni Association in February 2022. And then there is also webinar volume 4 in February 2022. And then the declaration for this Hiroshima University Alumni Association in March 2022. But for the inauguration, we make it in May 2022. And then regarding of this one, we have to take care about the legal status and also about the official name approval and so on, article incorporation. So this one under the process until now. But now it's already everything have been done few days ago. Then and then the official name approval in the December 2022, and then article of incorporation in January 2023, as well as about the bank account and so on. That's already clear about the alumni association of the Hiroshima University in Indonesia. So this one we make like the historical of this alumni association already established. And then about this one legal information, we can see from this picture the government of Indonesia already give the approval for this alumni association with the name Persatuan Alumni Hiroshima Daigaku. So actually the name is Hiroshima University Alumni Association, not approved by the government of Indonesia, and then we try to make the name in Bahasa Indonesia. And then the name Persatuan Alumni Hiroshima Daigaku actually is not different with the Hiroshima University Alumni Association. And then about the NPWP for this one already established also here, already registered in the Ministry of Finance and so on. About the bank account, we also can inform later on if you want to interest as the investor of this alumni association. And then this one about the organization structure. Yes, as the co-president here, the Professor Dr. Mitsuo Ochi as the president of Hiroshima University, and also the Dr. Laksana Trihandoko, the head of the National Research and Innovation Agency of the Republic of Indonesia. And then the board of supervisor here, the general supervisor, Professor Dr. Husni Tandra from the Hasanuddin University, and then Professor Jagal Wisesawaseno, the first supervisor. This one is from the Gajah Mada University, and also Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Jawad, the second supervisor as the director of the international relationship in Hasanuddin University. And then for the committee itself, here myself as the chairman of the, and then my current position in the Ministry of Transportation as the head of the Center for Transportation Infrastructure Financing, Ministry of Transportation. And then the member of this committee, there is Sumarsono Sudarto as the General Secretary, and then there's Novisang joined as the MC this morning for the webinar, and also there is Dr. Firly as the second secretary, and also there is Dr. Awaludin as the general treasury, and then Dr. Yosi Agustina, and also Dr. Julfaida Panatagama as the first, and then also the second treasury. And then for the board of advisor here, there is a Professor Shinji Kaneko. There's Hiroshi Karasimasang. Thank you, Karasimasang. You always support with this, with all the activity of the Hiroshima University Alumni Association. And also there is Luki Yustiantoro, PhD. Okay, this one is about the organization structure of the Hiroshima University Alumni Association. And then about the office of the Hiroshima Alumni Association. Once again, I have to thank to Karashima-san as the PT Sumitomo provide the room for this alumni association, and also the project with the Hiroshima University for sure here the location in the Sumit Mas first building in the 6th floor in the Jenderal Sudirman, close to the GBK Gelora Bung Karno. And then actually the access is very strategic there, so if everyone can visit this room actually for all of you, the alumni of the Hiroshima University. And then I think this one is the last slide of my presentation this morning about the corporate membership program. The Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia corporate membership program here. Actually, we have many type of this corporate diamond, platinum, and also the gold. As if you want to join with this as the membership of the Hiroshima University Alumni Association of Indonesia. And also for sure for the individual, we also very welcome, not only as the company. And then here, what is the benefit for you if you become the membership of this program for the diamond? Actually, yeah, in each membership, you have to, like, there's annual fee for you to pay to as become the membership, because you have the benefit of this membership. The diamond itself is like 5,000 US dollar, and then the platinum 3,000 US dollar, and gold is 1,000 US dollar, and for the individual is 200 US dollar. And then what is the benefit here? We can see here for the diamond, for sure you can have all the benefit that we already try to give to you about the business matching between Indonesia and Japan, for sure, expanding of the Hiroshima University Alumni Association of Indonesians public exposure, and then also engagement to alumni association community and also general public in Indonesia, maintaining Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia existence, and also the consultation service related to the Indonesia market, and then the last one about the talent matching access. So all these the purpose of this membership we will provide to you if you become the diamond of the membership of this program. And then for the platinum, for sure there is some restriction here that you can get it. Here we make this one as a desk, but for the circle you can access for all the session, all the benefit that we can give it to you. So this one, maybe you can consider to join with this alumni association as the corporate membership program. I think that's all my presentation for this morning. And then I just show you about the merchandise that we try to provide with the, for sure, the logo and so on about the Hiroshima University Alumni Association. You can buy it, and also maybe you can also order. And then this one about the social media, we already created in the Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and also for the website itself, and still under maintenance, hopefully coming soon. And then this one, the event in the inauguration, in the big picture here, we conducted in the Shangri-La Hotel last year in May, and also sometime we have like the small meeting with the other members, and also there is here we conduct like a running in the GBK during the weekend with the alumni of the Hiroshima University. Okay, I think that's all. There's here the power of association is stronger than the power of beauty. Therefore, the power of association is the power of beauty. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much, Mai-san, for your presentation. In case there are some question and curiosity about this alumni association, you can contact our social media.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
thank
very much.
you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, so that is about Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia. And since today's event is very special for us, all of us, so we would like to take a group photo before we continue to the next agenda. So we can take a screenshot since we have most of the participants are online. We can make a screenshot. So to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, could you please turn your video on and if possible, use the virtual background. And for us in this room, maybe the crew, can you take picture for us also here? Since not all of us appear on the camera, I hope you don't mind. So we can also take picture. You can just have a seat, I think. Maybe, where is the better? Okay. Yeah. So we have, if you can see us here in this room, we have some guests and participants here as well with me.
Yeah, we can see all of you.
You
Thank
can see
you for your
us.
coming, everyone.
So hopefully we can have you next time, especially for alumni,
Sure.
to join us together here to meet face to face, not just online. Hopefully one day. Okay, so please take screenshot also. Give your big smile. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We can give applause for all of us, can we? Okay, thank you so much. And to all the participants, thank you for showing your video on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next agenda is the presentation and discussion with two speakers that will be chaired by Professor Teruo Maeda. So with all my respect, I will deliver this session to the moderator. Please welcome Professor Maeda.
Oh, thank you for participation. Second part is for some presentation for two speakers. Do you know the CV? First one, the Dana. Okay, Dana-san first. Okay, please show some CV. Do you know?
Yes. Danar-san, maybe you can show your presentation.
Okay, yeah. I can show
Hello.
from here. Hello,
Okay. Can you
Professor
start?
Maida.
Can you start?
Okay,
Okay, please start.
can you see my screen?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Maida Sensei, for the opening short remark for this session. First of all, the distinguished guests and also Honorable Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia chapter and distinguished guests and all professors. I see some professors from Hiroshima University here and all the participants who are joining this seminar. It is thank you very much for having me, and it's a very honor for me to have a chance and to be invited to the hybrid seminar, the second hybrid seminar of HUAA Indonesia chapter today. And let me first introduce myself. And the topic is that will be presented today related to the recent trends into science and technology, in particular in relation with the development of seaweed-based biopolymers for sustainable food packaging material based on our research activities. And brief introduction, I was graduated from Hiroshima University 2012, the PhD programs, and beforehand took a master from Hiroshima University also, During that time, the name is a graduate school of biosphere science, belong to the Department of Biofunctional Science and Technology. I was a member of the Laboratory of Marine Bioresource Chemistry under the supervision of Professor Kanji Hori, and I see here Associate Professor Makoto Hirayama. Hirayama, good to see you here. And I'm working at the Universitas Basmart, and you can see it's Basmart University or Universitas Basmart in Bahasa Indonesia, or Basmart University, and abbreviated with UNS. This is the main gate of our university, and it is located in Central Java, Indonesia, particular in Solo or Surakarta city, which also famous with the capital of batik. That's why today I'm also wearing batik here. It took about an hour from Jakarta or so from Denpasar. And I belong to the Faculty of Agriculture. This kind of activities in our laboratory, the chocolate also here is part of our activities, research activities in the laboratory. And Department of Food Science and Technology is my department in Faculty of Agriculture. In relation with this topic today, for the recent research trends in food science technology, actually this is the research framework, this focus research in our research group. I'm the coordinator of the Food Quality and Health Research Group, which are inspired and motivated to do some research in regarding the food science and technology topics based on and utilized on an agricultural product. And we focus actually for the two main parts, development for functional food and nutraceuticals and food packaging. For the development of food, functional food and nutraceutical is stimulated and motivated by the condition of the trends of the food science and technology, which consumers are really need healthy and nutritious food, and also learn from the COVID-19 pandemic. The preventive is better, so focus on prevention or reduce of risk reduction for the food prevention of disease should be one of our interests. The topics actually covered in cacao derived base. So we are conducting research for the development of Indonesian chocolate signature by incorporating these like spices, essential oil based for the choco as a matrix, and we also they're evaluating and formulating and also characterizing the milk cocoa derived products, for example, for chocolate bars and also chocolate beverage. And we also conducting a collaboration with this Utrecht University, Belgium, for conducting this research. And we also focus on the tuber and legume base for development of functional food ingredients, but in particular for composite flour production with this formulation and also characterization on its properties. And today's topic, I will go to the next one. The focus is regarding the seaweed base for the materials, sustainable material for packaging, for our contribution to the innovation product with science and technology. Since we are interested and also focused to have a contribution to develop a safe, nutritious, and high quality food based on our research activities. And the outline of my topic today, we divided into three parts: global challenge, it responses to the issues or research trend that regarding the plastics, for environmental impact of it. And the second one is for development of seaweed-based biopolymers for sustainable food packaging materials and future outlook. For the first one, it started by the challenge that we face today regarding the plastics and the condition of the plastics. Actually, now we found it more than about 4,000 million tons and estimated in 2015 more than a million, 1,000 million tons. It's really a big challenge for us today regarding the plastic and also the impact for the environment. That's why this is one of our concern to make a contribution based on our research and also our resources, in particular from Indonesia. So we try to develop alternative to replace plastic with a biodegradable one with this to respond this challenge. And we also now going to achieve global target or sustainable development goals for 2030. And this slide shows us about the relation of the plastic or change and our contribution to the global goals. We can see here in particular SDGs number 12 for the responsible consumption and production, and usually for the research in food science and technology, come second one like zero hunger, good health and well-being, and also responsible consumption and production. Although other points of SDGs are also related, but in relation to the plastic, we try to elaborate the 12. Uh, Point number 12 regarding the responsible consumption. So we try to contribute in this area to have an opportunity to tackle these global issues, our global challenge regarding the plastic. And starting for the second part, I will try to first give like or insight about the position regarding the natural resources that Indonesia have, and that's one of the reason of our research group with students and also with the colleges to try to explore the natural resources, in particular for the marine bioresources, and very specific one is seaweed. Uh, we try to have an action to make an added value since we found seaweed in particular here, the red seaweed carrageenophytes. You can found Indonesia as one of the biggest producer, and we found that usually we are not converting into intermediate or end product. We usually sell the dried seaweed, export outside, and that's why we try to go together to have an added value to become kerajinan, the semi-refined or refined kerajinan by conducting this transfer technology here. And this is the information about the diverse uses and the biological groups of seaweed that one of our interests. When I was studied in Hiroshima University, I studied about the functional protein, active compound that called carbohydrate binding protein from lectins. But to this topic, I will move to the carbohydrate base here. Use carrageenan as material for the application in food, in particular for the producing or formulating these biodegradable film or edible films. This is the information regarding the seaweed. We usually carbohydrate, protein, and we usually use as a biochemicals, food, feed, or fertilizer. And we try to keep added value, as I mentioned before in the previous slide. And we try to use seaweed as the natural or biopolymers as of food grade packaging as one of the biopolymer source into carrageenan as the material. We usually found the biodegradable packaging based on hydrocolloid and or then the lipid based and composite material. And this one, we use the hydrocolloid or polysaccharide base using carrageenan as the main material for our biopolymer-based packaging development. And this is the overview regarding the application of biopolymers, in particular carrageenan, example from our research conducting till now. Biodegradability and or edibility, this is the most beneficial aspect for the properties for edible film coating to protect or to maintain the quality of food, to prevent for the deterioration. That's why we try to develop the materials that have a function as a barrier against, let's say here we can do weather vapor, moisture, oxygen, light, gases are also volatile compound. And we may also incorporate or edit the additive such as natural preservative. As mentioned in my focus, we usually use also like to develop the active biodegradable film by incorporating some spices and or essential oils there, and to improve the quality and profile of food. And this is the role of the edible films and or biodegradable films and coating in this food matrix, for example. Yeah, to prevent as a barrier the gas, vapor, solids, and also we can use the material as a vehicle for the active compound, such as now we may found antimicrobial agent for the antimicrobial films or coating and the antioxidative properties, so we can use it as antioxidant films and or coatings. And also for the color agents, we now also developing the smart or intelligent packaging to have monitoring, to have a function as a monitor for the shelf life or the quality of food that are preserved by this coating or the film, and flavors, and also the nutraceutical, again, agents that may incorporate it or added into the film's matrix. And this is the components of the biopolymers that may use as main materials for the edible or biodegradable films coatings development. For example, here polysaccharide based, protein based, both are belong to the hydrocolloid based film, and then lipid based film is the main component. And we also have an opportunity to make a mixture, composite material, and incorporate other additives to enhance or to improve some properties of the film. And the other components like the solvents and additives for the improvement of the quality, stability, and also to modify the basic functionality of the material. This is the overview regarding the components of the films and coating. And in our laboratory, in the Department of Technology in UNS, we to produce the refined carrageenan. We usually use kappa and iota, or kappa ficus alvarezi, or Euchema cotomi, and or Euchema denticulatum, or Euchema spinosum for the iota carrageenan. Since we can find abundant resources of these two seaweed, actually the red carrageenophyte or red seaweed here in Indonesia. Then we use here, we use this material for the development of carrageenan-based film. And this is an example of the film that we have successfully produced in our laboratory. This iota and kappa carrageenan in the film to be applied as a wrapping or and coating for the food. Actually, we already use in the minimally processed food and the fresh food product. And this is an example for the films that we fabricated in our laboratory, and some measurement tests or assay for the mechanical properties, mechanical physical properties in measuring this film characteristic or properties. And we started soon after I graduated from Hiroshima University, I tried with our group and students to produce this kerajinan from the red seaweed. And this is like the mini roadmap of our research and achievement. First, we try to produce and evaluating the properties and characteristic of the kerajinan base, including kappa and iota kerajinan, semi-refined and refined kerajinan. And we, from the last 8 years, we start collaboration with academician from Universitas Pajajaran. They are also graduated from Hiroshima University from the Graduate School of Engineering, Prof. Imadejoni and Professor Samilia Panatarani. We started to exploring, to conducting research, to incorporating nanoparticles as a nanofillers for this film to improve some properties, of course, for our developed biopolymer-based film, in particular for kerajinan film, kerajinan based by nanocomposite film. And we hope that at the time, we hope that we can improve some properties of film. And actually, yes, we can improve and some characteristics evaluating like from these mechanical, physical, chemical properties by FTIR. And we try to evaluate also for the morphological structure of films by SEM, scanning electron microscope, and atomic force microscopy. And we try to produce or fabricate a film that may apply for the, for example, here we for the chicken meat, chicken means meat. So we try to apply it there, and this formulation of the characterization of film is being developed there. And this is the sample of our results that formulated and characterized by the kerajinan. And also we try to make some composite of film here, bio-nanocomposite film. So we try also other materials instead of kerajinan. For example, we have been conducting research by making composite film using kerajinan and chitosan, and kerajinan with cassava starch, and also kerajinan with gelatin. That from chitosan and gelatin, we also use the materials from the marine bioresources. So like from the crabs waste, we usually do as option for valorization as waste utilization from the shrimp and from the shrimp shells and the crab shells. We use it as a material for the chitosan, and we also use from these fish bone for the development or for the production of the gelatin. And then we evaluate the properties of the film. For example, here is the example of the result from the scanning electron microscopic and from the AFM, and other activities like for the antimicrobial activities. We evaluated again Escherichia coli and Staphylococcus aureus from the gram positive, gram negative, and we try to evaluate the quality of the minced chicken meat with wrapping by our film, by non-composite film here, and by using this iota and also kappa keratin. Well, this is the overview as one of the research trends in relation to the packaging, and also this is this try to respond, for the recent trends regarding the packaging for the safe, nutritious, and high quality of food. And the future outlook that we may present, this is use human, we are a researcher, as an academician, and also as a human, we should, yeah, utilize bioresources wisely, and we should consider in terms of production and utilization to convert onto or to produce food and biomaterial by also concerning the environmental impact. So sustainability perspective should be in our mind, so we can utilize, we can produce bioresources wisely and in a good way to produce food and biomaterials. Yeah. For example, in case of this topic is for like they call carrageenan and other like chitosan and gelatin and other resources like starch. This we should consider about this environmental perspective, since we all know that food, yeah, regarding the food is much more than what is in our plate. As I mentioned, as for the focus of our group research, safe, nutritious, high quality of food, we try to uh, give a respect and love to our food. As mentioned, maybe we can remember as information from the FAO that nowadays we find uh, food and food loss and waste issues. That's why we should reduce our food waste. This is the message that is delivered by the FAO to us and also to our future generation. And we should also consider about the local food producer, uh, support local food producer, and also we should appreciate the workmanship in producing this food, so we can also respect them and adopt the healthier and more sustainable diets. And we should learn where the food comes from. So it is important that respecting food. This is need the appreciation from the backstory of food. So when we know that the food, the whole picture of the food is being processed, it is easier to us to to find that food is uh, really precise, really precise, it really precise. It. So yeah, this is the future outlook. That's why we should consider about this all whole picture, how to produce food, and in case of the recent trends, and I already mentioned the sustainable material and biodegradable one is one the concern that we now try to have a eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, so we can try to give a contribution in a good way. So I think that's all for my presentation today. And for the share, I hope the sharing will have a beneficial and we can explore and we can discuss more. And yeah, this is the last one before I end my sharing. We just show you the previous pictures. This is in Hiroshima University. When I was in Hiroshima University, this is Hori Sensei, and this is Asakawa Sensei is already passed away, and Hirayama Sensei. And this also to show all of you regarding the PPI, Hiroshima Indonesia Student Association there. We like a family there, so we support each other. And this is the picture when I was in 2015 for the Hori Sensei last lecture. There, I came there. And this is an example for the activities that conducted by us. I arranged the international conference, so maybe we can do some activities, similar activities like this. This is in 2016 when Asakawa Sensei came to Solo, came to become one of the invited speakers in our international conference. This is the first international conference on food science engineering. And Hirayama Sensei, he came uh, virtually by Zoom in 2022 since it's still in the COVID-19 pandemic. So we arranged the conference into this virtual conference. The previous one is happened by the offline, so in Solo. And as information for Maida Sensei also, we have already had the MOU between our university and Hiroshima University from Hiroshima University since 2019. So I think it should be better for enhancing activities, for example, by using this HUAA platform, Hiroshima University Alumni Association platform, to conduct some activities with alumni in Indonesia, as HUAA become one of our hubs to connect with the Hiroshima University. I think that's all I can share today, and I open for the discussion. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I give the time back to Maida. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dana-san. Time is limited, or second speakers appears, and then question or for comments later for the totally, okay, after finishing second speakers, okay. Are you okay? Okay. Second speakers, Kamuranshi-san. Kamuranshi, Dr. Kamuranshi.
Yeah, can you turn your microphone on, Kamrangsi Sensei? Okay.
Okay, please start including a short your introduction. Okay.
Okay, Maida Sensei, thank you very much for the nice introduction. So my name is Thanachapon Kamrangsi. So today I would like to share my research work with you all about food science and technology for how can we apply food science and technologies in healthy food industry. So today we're gonna cover for three main topics. We're gonna see how can we apply microbial technology and fat technology and enzyme technology in healthy food industry. The first topic about microbial technology, we're gonna see how can we apply microbials to produce healthier tempeh productions. And the second ones, we're gonna see how can we change liquid oil into this solid fat to produce what we call oleogels as an alternative and healthier fat in bakery productions. And the third one, we're gonna see together how can we use aspergillus-derived enzymes as prebiotics. So first, let's start together of this one, the microbial technology. Let's see about tempeh. I believe most of you here know better than me actually about tempeh, but please kindly allow me to introduce a bit about tempeh. Tempeh is a traditional Indonesian food made from fermented soybeans. And in the fermentation process of this tempeh, typically two fungi are used, Rhizopas orycosporas here and Rhizopas oryzae here. And we call this two as tempeh starters. And during the fermentation process, those fungi, they digest and they catabolize the raw soybeans into soft like cake as shown here. You can see that white layers here and the white color matter inside tempeh here. It's like white mycelia produced from those fungi. And you may wonder, what is the difference between tempeh and tofu? In Japan here, we don't have tempeh actually, but we have tofu here. The two main different points between tempeh and tofu are tofu it's from soy milk, not the whole soybeans. And there is no fermentation process in tofu. So tofu, we change soy milk into tofu cake, no fermentations. And for tempeh, actually, it's not popular only here in Asia, but nowadays, currently, it also becomes like popular in USA or in Europe because it rich in nutrients. For example, rich in protein here, you can see, and a lot of vitamins, minerals, calciums, phosphorus, potassiums. See, and because tempeh rich in nutrients, and another property that make it popular is that it has a meat-like texture. These two properties make tempeh as an ideal plant-based protein. And that's why it's become popular everywhere all over the world. And there is estimated that in the future, tempeh market will get bigger and bigger. Besides those nutrients rich in proteins, minerals, vitamins, there are also other bioactive compounds rich in tempeh, including peptides, free amino acids, including GABA. As we know, GABA is an important neurotransmitter. And when we talk about soybean, of course, isoflavones, right? Actually, there are four main isoflavones in soybeans. The first one is glucosines. The second one is malonyl glucoside, acetylglucoside, and aglycones here. And during the process, for example, fermentations, glucosides and malonyl glucosides that rich in raw soybeans will be converted to aglycones here. And studies have shown that aglycones, they are absorbed better and faster in higher amounts than their glucosides. And there are a lot of physiological activities, for example, anti-tumor, antioxidative, and anti-diabetic effects from aglycones, I'm sorry. And that's why scientists trying to produce soybean foods, not only tempeh, including natto and soy milk, that have higher amount of glycones. In general, as I mentioned earlier, there are three types of tempeh starters. There's two oligosporas and oliceae. They are widely used already. And the third one is Rhizopus stoloniferus, this one. It's less used actually compared to these two. So it comes to our study, we're trying to see if this Rhizopus stoloniferus could increase higher amount of glycones in tempeh compared to these two. And what we found is that, let's take a look in this box here. So here is the raw soybeans or unfermented soybean. You can see that high levels of isoflavones here. And after the fermentation by these three rhizopus, you can see that the levels of isoflavones decrease from 230 to 200 something, 100 something, 100 something here. And glycones levels increase from 10 something here to 30 to 40 and to 80 something here. So we found that this Rhizopus stoloniferus could significantly increase higher amount of glycones in tempeh compared to these two fungi. And then we apply the tempeh from Rhizopus stoloniferus and see if they could have some good effects in the bodies. And we found that tempeh produced by using Rhizopus stoloniferus significantly increase an abundance of probiotics, bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, higher than these two tempehs and higher than control. And it also can decrease an abundance of bad bacteria, for example, enterobacter here, including Salmonella and E. coli, as we know, see, compared to control here. Next, we also found that this tempeh significantly drastically increase the levels of short chain fatty acids in gut compared to control here. And they also could exert beneficial effects on liver functions. They decrease the levels of AST, LDH here, indicating tissue damage, and also decrease the level of bilirubin here compared to control. If the levels of bilirubin getting low, it means your liver works well, actually. So next, let's move to the second topic about fat technology. We're gonna see how we can change this liquid oil into this solid fat and how can we use it instead of margarine. And we're gonna see together why we have to reduce the usage of margarine. First, let's see the general information about margarine a bit. Margarine is most often used as a substitute for butter because margarine is like it's cheaper than butter. That's why we love using it actually. And although originally margarine is made from animal fats, but nowadays it is made from vegetable oils, for example the soybeans oil. So what is bad about margarine then? Why we have to reduce the usage of margarine? I think most of you already know a bit about that, but let's see it through together again. In margarine production process here, what we call hydrogenations. In this process is the process to add hydrogen into fatty acid in order to reduce the number of double bonds here. For example, in this one, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double bonds here. By adding hydrogen in, we can reduce from 5 double bonds into 2 double bonds here. In general, if you have more double bonds, your lipid will be liquid status or what we call oil, for example, soybean oil. But if you have less double bonds, you have lower numbers of double bonds, the liquid status gonna change to solid or what we call fat. So by adding hydrogen into your oil, you can change your liquid oil, for example, soybean oil, into solid fat, for example, margarine here. But bad things is that during the hydrogenation process here, dangerous byproduct occur, what we call trans fat. And scientists have shown evidence that trans fat, it's bad for your heart. Actually, it can cause cardiovascular disease. That's why we have to reduce the usage of margarine. In hydrogenation process, there are two main pathways or methods. First, through hydrogenations here, we're gonna add a lot of hydrogen in and change all double bonds into single bonds here. In this process, there is no problem actually. But another process, we call it partial hydrogenation, the process that we use to produce margarine here. In this partial hydrogenation, we don't add hydrogen and change all double bonds to be single bonds, but we're gonna leave some double bonds there in our products. By doing that, the dangerous byproduct, as I mentioned, trans fat occur. The directions of hydrogen here will change. Hydrogen here will go to the different direction, you see, compared to this one. If this structure occur in your products, it means trans fat already occur. So in order to reduce trans fat levels, scientists try to figure it out how to do that. But before we go to see that, we have to see if we know that trans fat is not good and partial hydrogenation is not good. Why we have to do that? Why we do it? Why we love it? Because partially hydrogenated oils, they can give better properties. For example, they can give higher melting points, more stable, which is good for deep fried foods here. And they can give more rigid structure, which is good for baking products or bakery products. The more you add hydrogen in, the harder the margarine or shortening you can have. If you add a lot of hydrogen in, you're gonna have the hard margarine or what we call shortening here. And margarine and shortenings, They are used in various types of foods, for example, deep fried foods, bakery products, whipping cream, creamer here in your coffee actually. And let's see how much trans fat exists in our daily life in foods that we have every day. This is the data from Thailand. The highest amount of trans fat that we found is in repeatedly used oil. For example, oil for donut frying, you can see that it's quite high here. And in cooking oil, you can be safe, it's not that high. It's quite low actually in cooking oil. In margarine and shortening, also high levels of trans fat. And in butter, we also found trans fat in butter, but compared to margarine and shortening, it's quite lower, maybe 10 times lower. So keep using the same oil for cooking is not good. Actually, it can produce a lot of trans fat, actually. So let's see a bit about recommendations of trans fat. The WHO and FAO, they suggest that the maximum intake of trans fat should be lower than 1% of the total energy intakes, or lower than 2.2 grams per day, actually. And in 2018, in USA and Canada, they are already announced that no trans fat allows in foods, actually. And in 2019, no trans fat in Thailand already announced. And WHO announced that trans fat should be eliminated worldwide by 2023 or this year. I don't know the situations about trans fat in Indonesia there, but we can share the information later. And for the products that we can claim zero trans fat, it's gonna be like this: 0 gram trans fat here. In nutrition facts here, trans fat 0 gram. In order to claim 0 trans fat, it's not that really 0, but if for one serving of your food has trans fat lower than 0.5 gram, so you can claim that trans fat 0 gram actually. Okay, so in order to stop using partial hydrogenations, food scientists try to figure it out. So what kind of ways that we can stop using partial hydrogenation, but we still can make margarine? So currently there are two methods. First one, we call it oil blending, and the second one is oleogelations here. Oil blending here, we don't add hydrogens in oil anymore, but we blend saturated oil or saturated fat with unsaturated oil together, like changing liquid oil here into semi-solid fat or semi-solid oil by blending it with solid fat here. And they recommended that saturated fat, it might be good, like palm oil or coconut oil. And for oleogelation here, it is a novel or new technology to extract liquid oil into semi-solid fat. In this method or technology, we change this liquid oil into oleogel or solid fat here. By doing that, we mix liquid oil with gel layers, for example, wax, and melt them under 90 degrees Celsius, and then let them cool down at room temperature, and then liquid oil will change to solid fat, or what we call oleogels. And scientists already successfully apply or using these oleogels to make bakery products instead of margarines, as shown here. And attempts have been made worldwide. Actually, if you go to USA, in Europe, you may find margarine with 0 gram trans fat already. See, they already claim that 0 gram trans fat shortening. In Japan, actually, we still don't have 0 trans fat yet, but we are working on it. We have something called this green label. This one, what it said in this green label is that we are working to reduce trans fat, actually. So companies trying to stop using partial hydrogenations by applying those techniques to produce 0 trans fat margarine or shortening. So it comes to my research. This research I did collaborative works with Dr. Masubon Thongam from Kasetsart University. Her team produced Oreo gels by using rice bran oil mixed with rice bran wax and melt them under 90 degrees Celsius, let them cool down, and then we can change rice bran oil here into solid fat called Oreo gel. And her team already successfully used these Oreo gels instead of margarine to make cakes. And you can see from here that it looks good, right? Similar to margarine, not that different actually. And in Hiroshima University here, what we did is that we try to figure out what happened if we have Oreo gel, if we eat Oreo gel. So we gave Oreo gel to rats and see what happened in the body. And what we found is that Oreo gel could decrease the fat tissues accumulation in the bodies, decrease the level of triglyceride in blood, in liver, and increase the excretions of fat in feces, actually. Let's see the details here. You can see that Oreo gel could reduce fat tissue accumulations like more than 25% compared to margarine and control here. And Oreo gel could decrease triglyceride in your blood, in liver, over 50% and increase the excretions of triglyceride in feces compared to margarine and control. And Oreo gel also could protect the liver. So it shows lower levels of ALT, this one indicating tissue damage, and decrease the level of bilirubin, indicating good functions of the liver. Next, let's move to the third topic about enzyme technology. In this one, we're gonna see how aspergillus-derived enzyme can be used as prebiotics. Before we go further, let's see a bit about prebiotics. Prebiotics, actually, the definition of prebiotics like has been defined years by years. First time that prebiotics have been defined, it's in 1995 here. Prebiotics has been defined as a non-digestible food ingredient that beneficially affects the host by selectively stimulating the growth and or activity of one or a limited number of bacteria, mostly limited to lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. And at that time, the typical well-known prebiotics, of course, this one, non-digestible oligosaccharides, FOS here. Since 1995, the definition of prebiotics has been, changed, modified. And in 2016, the new definitions has been defined again. So a prebiotics has been defined as a substrate, not about non-digestible oligosaccharides anymore. It's a substrate, whatever substrate. A substrate that is selectively utilized by host microorganisms, not about bacteria, not about lactobacillus or bifidobacterium only anymore. Get bigger microorganisms that can confer a health benefit to the host. So the new definition of prebiotics, it's beyond non-digestible compounds, beyond stimulation of bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, but also stimulations of other beneficial bacteria, including Roseburia. So let's see what kind of foods that can be have prebiotics. For oligosaccharides, of course, typical prebiotics. Galacto-oligosaccharides, we can have it from cow's milk, dairy products. FOS, we can have it from burdocks or gobo, or what we call in Japan here, green onion, asparagus here. Soy oligosaccharides from soy. Silo oligosaccharides from corn, bamboo shoot, raffinose from cabbage, broccoli. And of course, dietary fibers, inulin, as you know. If you're gonna ask me, like, if you're gonna give just only one food that you think is good as prebiotic source, I would recommend this one, gobo. Gobo is rich in inulin. In Japan, we have this gobo. It's quite good. So I recommend you guys, if you come to Japan next time, try gobo. And if you go to USA or Europe, they don't have. It doesn't mean they don't have. It's not popular over there, gobo, but they have this one, artichokes, instead in USA and in Europe. So there's two, gobo and artichokes. They are good source for prebiotics because they are rich in inulin, actually. So nowadays, the definition of prebiotics, it changed, it get bigger. It's not only FOS or oligosaccharides anymore. It's also include fatty acid, include human milk oligosaccharides, and even phenolic compounds, actually, phytochemicals. So we ask a question, how about enzymes? Can enzymes be prebiotics then? So let's know a bit about Aspergillus before we go to see the result. Aspergillus, as we know, is mold or fungi. There are many types of Aspergillus, Aspergillus oryzae, Owamori, Niger. So Aspergillus have long been used in food industries in Japan, actually, to produce typical Japanese foods, for example, sake, miso, soy sauce. And another important property of Aspergillus is that Aspergillus can produce a lot of enzymes, including protease. So in our study, at the beginning, we fermented burdocks or gobo by using Aspergillus and gave fermented gobo to rats and see if it could increase bifidobacterium in cecum or not. As a result, it's very interesting. We found that fermented gobo significantly increased the levels of bifidobacterium compared to control and even compared to raw or fresh burdock or gobo. And we tried to figure out what in fermented gobo that increased bifidobacterium. And we found that water extract of fermented gobo could increase bifidobacterium in the similar power with fermented gobo. So we hypothesized that the effector might be Aspergillus lilies enzymes. Then we did experiment, gave two enzymes, lilid from Aspergillus to rats, and we found that, interestingly, those two enzymes significantly increase an abundance of bifidobacterium compared to control. And they also increase the levels of short-chain fatty acid. And we found that Aspergillus-derived protease enzyme significantly increased levels of some amino acid in cecum, threonine, alanine, choline, phenylalanine, cysteine, and also increased non-proteinogenic amino acids, taurine, ornithine, and GABA, especially this one GABA. It's interesting because GABA is an important neurotransmitter. It also can be increased in cecum by giving the enzymes, actually. And we found that not only protease enzyme, other enzymes released from Aspergillus, for example, lipase, also show similar effects. Lipase could increase an abundance of bifidobacterium and lactobacillus here. And cellulase also can show the similar effects, increasing, this one is lactobacillus and bifidobacterium here. And not only enzymes derived from Aspergillus, we also found that other enzymes, for example, lipase enzyme from penicillium that we normally use to produce cheese, also can increase an abundance of bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, actually. In the summary, by walk through my talk today, we can see that food science and technologies can be applied in healthy food industries a lot. First, we can apply microbial technology to produce tempeh with higher amounts of glycans, these bioactive compounds. And we can change liquid oil into solid fat, what we call oleogels, that we can use instead of margarine to produce healthier bakery products that can reduce trans fat and reduce lipid digestibility and lipid absorption in our body. And at the end, we can apply enzyme technology as prebiotics, not only for human health, but also in animal farms. nowadays we try to reduce the uses of antibiotic drugs, right, in animal farm. So some studies also already show that by using Aspergillus derived enzymes mixed with the diet for animal farms, it could increase the immune system, immunes in the animal farms, and then make animal farm healthier and reduce the usage of antibiotic drugs. And at the end, I would like to say thank you to my laboratory, Molecular Nutrition in Hiroshima University, to my boss, Noriyuki Yanaka, and our students, and Kasei University, and both companies in Japan that did the collaborative works with us, Ikeda Food Research and Amino Enzymes Company. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kamuranshi Sensei. Okay, now that we will move for discussion time. Audience for offline and online, but I cannot get for online questions. Therefore, the first, okay, and I'd like to discuss in the offline. Okay, okay. Please say some comments or questions in the floor, okay? Do you have any question or comments? Many of the questions or the comments are available, okay? Ueda-san, how about that?
Thank you very much for the excellent presentations. Biopolymer. Regarding to the biopolymer, I have some question that do you have the idea how to make the economics against to the such the ordinary plastics? Do you have the idea? Do you have the experience to make some estimation of a cost?
Donna-san, please
Oh, okay.
answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for the questions. Regarding your question about the estimation, actually, we don't have any estimation yet. We still work at the lab scale and now starting for the scaling up one. So for the more economic in the ordinary way, we haven't had any estimation at cost actually for, I think you may try to, if we can finish the production, then we transfer into scaling up one. But we still have no idea regarding the economic one. But we consider about the source abundant in Indonesia actually. So it means if we have resources, let's say for the kerajinan production, we have seaweed as a material here. It may help us to reduce the cost for the we can produce by ourselves. That's one constraint that we consider about it. And also with the other biopolymers. For example, for the chitosan and gelatin, we can utilize our own material, and we can produce by ourselves rather than buy or order the chemical compounds or something like that. And also for the starch, for example, we can also produce by ourselves based on our resources that we have here. Maybe it will help to answer your curiosity about it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone have a comments or questions?
We already have on the chat Zoom.
Oh, chat Zoom. Okay, okay.
Someone just
Okay.
raised hand, Miss Eva. Maybe she can deliver the question directly.
Oh, yes.
Can we see her? Dwi Eva Nirmagustina. Okay.
Okay.
Please unmute your microphone, Bu Eva. She is alumni of Hiroshima University.
Oh,
And she was in the same laboratory with Kamrangsi Sensei.
Okay, please.
We cannot hear you
Please.
yet.
Microphone.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Novi-san. Sensei, I miss you. Happy meet you here in our webinar. Very interesting your presentation. So this is memorable when I in your laboratory from 2015 until 2018. Hope you always thought, Sensei.
I'm glad to see you here today as well, Eva. Thank you very much for coming.
Yes. Okay, Sensei. Very interesting your presentation about interesting with the tree from tempe, oleo gel, and the enzyme. Maybe in the tempe is very interesting because I every day maybe in Indonesian people eat a tempe.
I
So
know
today,
I can taste tempeh in Indonesia actually.
yeah,
I haven't had
yeah,
it yet.
come to Indonesia, Sensei. Maybe next year, if we have the conference, maybe we'll invite you to come to Indonesia. Sensei, about the oleo gel, it is maybe very nice to make it in fat industry because trans fats is very bad.
Right.
Many people using the margarine from oil to fat because very low prices than the butter from the milk. So how do we can increase the produce this oleo gel? Maybe from the small industry, not the big industry. Maybe it is many in Lampung, especially in my province, many factory of oil. So how to make easier to make the oleo gel? Thank you, Sensei.
Actually, the process to produce Oreo gels. But first, I would like to say first, I'm not an expert by making this Oreo gel. My collaborator, Dr. Masubon in Thailand, she is the main person to do that. But the process is not that complex. You mix oil, whatever, for example, soybean oil or rice bran oil or the palm oil that you already use in your country, mix it with the wax.
Wax. Yeah.
Wax like maybe about 5% of wax. You mix wax with that oil and melt wax under, mix them together and then melt them under 90 degrees Celsius to let those wax melt. After completely dissolve wax in that oil, then you cool them down at room temperature or 20 degrees Celsius. And then that oil will be mixed with wax. Wax gonna be everywhere. Build up the crystal of the wax in the oil. And then that liquid oil gonna become solid fat. Because the crystal of the wax will hold the liquid oil inside. And the problem is that the challenging point is that how can we make the strong structure of the wax to hold the oil, not let the oil leak out?
Okay.
And then that solid fat we call oleo gel can be used instead of oleo gel or margarines. I'm sorry, used instead of margarines for making cake or cookie instead of margarines. It can be. I mean, like maybe we can start from a small scale, and then in the industry part, we may have to find the gel leather, wax, or other compounds that can make the crystal structure strong to make that oleo gel strong, solid at the room temperature, and it can be used in industry, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you.
Okay, next from the IPB's Imran-san, okay, please. Imran-san. Imran-san. Imran-san, please answer. Please.
Check. Pak Imran, can you please unmute your microphone? This is your turn to ask questions. We cannot hear you yet. Can you please check again?
Okay, please, some comments or questions, okay?
Still on mute.
No.
Pak Imran, could you please unmute your microphone? It's still in mute. No,
Mute.
we cannot hear you.
Okay. No.
Okay, finally.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
Finally, I can. Okay. Okay. My question will come to the Danartang, I think, because really interesting topic related to my field in seaweed, in seaweed, because in my experiences, now we have developed for the seaweed seed using the tissue culture in the semi or biotrope, no. So my question is about the economic scale of the red seaweed can be used as a polymer. Yeah? If it is the high benefit for to produce the plastic, so what is the position now your research? Yeah, in can we scale up this product to be a base product to replace of the plastic? Yeah, I mean the conventional plastic. Yeah, that's my question. I think. Thank you, Sensei.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Dana-san,
Imran-san.
please.
Yes, Maida Sensei. Okay, thank you. Hello, Imran-san. Nice to see you again here. Okay, from your question, actually for the positioning research, now we have let's say for the fabricated in the lab scale, still in the lab scale. So now it's trying to be developed into pilot fine for scaling up, but not in the scale of industry. But the positioning, we are considering about the abundant resource of the red macroalgae, in particular for the Caphaficus alvarezi for producing the Kappa carrageenan and also Euchema dendriculatum for the Iota carrageenan. And we can find it in Indonesia, I think. So if you try to move from your perspective, let's say from your tissue culture, I think it's possible, and it will be give, of course, a beneficial aspect. But I don't know regarding the we should try. I don't know about your position of the research from the tissue culture one, but here we use for the raw materials directly and processed into the refined carrageenan. And also we have an industrial partner that support us for the semi-refined one. I think this is a good one, so we can elaborate more, but later on for the discussion with you, Imran-san. Thank you so much for the question.
Imran-san, okay? Okay, Imran-san. Okay, in the floors, one of the inviters for medical fields, Telmo Indonesia's, and he is the president of the director. Okay, do you have any Yamamoto-san? Okay, I introduce Yamamoto-san. Okay, if you have some of the questions or comment from the medical field. Yeah, it's quite far from like a food and not so much like far from like a food and medical. But I'm just personally curious, have interesting for biopolymer instead of like a plastic, because many of medical devices are manufactured by plastic, especially polypropylene or PVCs. So I would like to understand what you have explained. Material is how is heat resistant. So this is because some of medical devices need to be sterilized by heating or some gas or electron beams. So that's why I just would like to know how is the heat resistance of your materials.
Okay, thank you, Yamamoto-san. Sorry if I made a mistake for your spelling of your name. But heat resistant actually for the medical device, we haven't tried it yet in terms of our case, but maybe I can actually, in my group can try to further try to find the answer about it, because yeah, we usually use composite materials. So if we, let's say, if we try to use this biomaterial, we usually incorporate with other materials. If we, let's say, the target or the objective, if the heat resistant materials, we try to find a compound that may compatible with this biopolymer and try to use this formulation to make a heat resistant material. But we are still not going on that target. But later on, I try to discuss and also we try to develop that heat resistant material because it is related with your field in medical device. I think that's my question. Sorry if it is not answered yet clearly.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I would like to question to Dana-san and Kamarachi-san. First, I would like to ask the Dana-san, and I'm interested in for some food application, seaweed. Now a little bit for the experiment, some of the production of the artificial meat, but it's for high cost. How about for the food applications, the seaweed, some polymerize? Is it easy to, or no low cost?
For seaweed as a material for, you mean for the artificial meat,
For meat production, like a culture, it's a very expensive. How the compare the some production of the for food application? Seaweed is low cost, or how about the cost?
Actually, the cost relatively calculating about this. So, okay, later on I will calculate with about the calculation, our economic perspective. So we usually use this one for this like red seaweed. We use not only carrageenophyte, we also have for agarophyte. So for producing agar like a Gracilia and Crudidium, we can also prospective or use as a material that may incorporate into the, let's say, for your artificial meat, maybe become a filler, or as I say, for the to make like a stabilizer in terms of the material or ingredient. But in terms of calculation or economic perspective, I'm sorry, my data I can't answer. I cannot answer about the calculation cost.
Okay,
But
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, to Kamaranshi Sensei, I'm interested in for the utilize of the enzyme for domestically animals. Your last slide shows some effectively to the for enzyme technology. And now the very problem in the for methane production for the domestically animals. How to utilize, or is there any evidence for the good for the carbon methane production, reduction of the methane production? Do you have any idea, or do you some data, or?
Okay, thank you very much. So your aim is like try to reduce methane productions, right? In cow or animal farm,
Yeah.
right? In that field, I don't touch on that field yet, but in my part right now, the enzyme, some studies already show that it can, of course, digest the undigested fibers or macronutrients in the colons of animal farms and enhance the immune system. In that part, there are some studies already. But for the methane productions, I think it's quite interesting, but still we don't have that data yet. But it might be very interesting if we can find some enzyme that we can put in the diet for animal farms that it can reduce some methane productions or change the bacteria composition that produce methane in cows. So it might be interesting in the future, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Okay, lastly, some comments from the Karashima-san. お願いします。
Yeah, Maeda Sensei, thank you. I make some of the comments. Thank you very much for the lectures. First, this week actually I went to the Sumbawa Island, was Nusa Tenggara Barat state, with Maeda Sensei. This is the purpose for the plantation of the mangrove. Now, world issue is like a CO2 emission and also plastic in the sea. As introduced in the year 2050, the plastic in the sea, the volume, which volume will be over the total volume of the fish in the sea. You know, in the Sumbawa also, I could see the huge volume of the garbage in the coastlines. It's quite shocking. And I think so. Yeah, today I firstly to know the Karaginan. This kind of the seaweed also making us carbon credit. It's like categorized in as blue carbon. One of the high quality, high price, but carbon credit. What I want to say is yeah, we are doing like mangrove plantations as CSR basis, but Indonesia, quite huge number of the mangrove forest is destroyed already. To recovery this kind of the mangrove, or the seaweed, plantation, I think so. The company should do as a business, materialize to not CSR, have to do the business. That is the point. And maybe also Karaginan, as Mr. Ueda said, cost, price might be one of the hurdle. So I think so we must study together how to utilize, how to make it feasible to utilize what carbon credit or from the Karaginan or the seaweed. And second point is healthy food issue. But we are now working together with Hiroshima University Medical Medicine Department. And one of the, we find one of the serious issue in Indonesia is more than 20 million patients of the diabetes. This is one of the most headache seriousness of the Indonesia. So like a tempeh or more healthy food, socialization is one of the key issue, I believe. And today I bring one Japanese very traditional food, so like kusaya. this is a fish. Fish, high protein and so high vitamin B. But the problem, this is traditional, made in island of the Nijima, south part of the Tokyo. But because of the depopulations, this is almost what's destroyed of the production. Problem, not character of Ksaya. This is a fish. Amazing smelling, bao. 100% more than, yeah, more than durian. Amazing bao. And but very much healthy, But Indonesia the other day in social media, young people are eating natto. Natto was disappeared in the supermarket in Jakarta. But yeah, challenge. But what I would say is socialization, good for the health. This kind of work might be necessary. We may work together with Hiroshima University too, but Aksaya make it survive. Please try. Yeah, open and try.
Ronnie-san, do you have any question? Okay, later. Ronnie is better.
But very healthy.
Yeah, very healthy, but smelling.
So you can just eat it as it is?
Kamarashi-san, or do you know the kusaya? Kusaya, Dana-san, do you know kusaya? One of the traditional some Japanese
No, I don't.
healthy
I
food.
that before, but you
Yeah.
have to accept that healthy things always come with unique properties. We have to accept that.
Can you
I
eat the
drunk,
natto? Natto also you can eat?
yeah,
Natto
not
is okay, yeah.
Dana-san, how about can you eat the natto?
Natto I can eat. It's okay. It's okay
Accept?
for me, but I don't know about kusaya. I just consider about the smell.
we have something in Thailand. We have the fermented fish. We call it para. It's also smelly as well, fermented fish.
Okay, now the closing times are reached. Okay, and Dana-san for research for the contribute to the some environment for the global environment like SDGs. Okay, and I hope your research more progress to contribute to the Indonesia. Okay, and Japan also.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much for the Dana-san. And
Thank you so
secondly,
much,
for
Maida.
the Kamarashi-san, I'm older man. Okay, I'm anxious about for my health. Okay, I want to maintain the healthy for long life. Okay, okay.
Your lady, creatine needs a lot. I know that.
Okay, I had learned the many of things. I'm also the favorite of the gobo. Okay, gobo now that some tea or some companies that show the gobo's effectiveness. Okay, or now try to eat or more. Okay, your experiments are for contribute to the some food quality or food safety. Okay? Thank you very much for the Kamarashi sensei. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for attendance, audience, online, offline. Okay, okay. Clap the big hands to both speakers. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. Very informative session. And now we know more about Japanese food and also Indonesian food, and hopefully this event purpose is to stimulate the collaboration between Indonesia and Japan in food or even other field. Okay, once again, please give a big applause to our speakers, Professor Kamrangsi, Professor Danar, and also to the moderator, Professor Maeda. Please give a biggest applause we can give today. And to all of you, also the audience, for participating in the discussion, thank you very much. We talk about the food, so it makes me a little bit hungry. And although I tried to smell the fish, I think it can be my next challenge to try. Although I like durian smell better, but hearing about the health effect, it's very interesting. Thank you very much for bringing the information here. So since it's time for us maybe to have lunch later, ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful that our seminar today went well. But before I close, I would like to invite, if it's still possible, for Mai-sang to give closing remark. Mai-sang?
Sure.
She's on the way to the
I'm here.
airport.
I'm on the way to airport, so sorry.
Okay, so you can give your closing remark now, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Namisa. I think this is very fruitful discussion, and then many things related to the food and the food technology were discussed, and it's very interesting. I want to say many thanks actually to the speakers, Danar Sang, and also Kamarangsi Sang. Sorry if I'm wrong to spell your name, is quite difficult. And also for sure for the moderator, Maeda Sensei, Novisa as the MC, and also to make this event done successfully. Many thanks to Novisa and also Karasima-san for sure for all your support and providing the room and so on, including I think the snack there. So I missed the snack in the room. And then yeah, hopefully in the next time I can join offline and then to meet all of you. Yes, I think I have some sentences to say to all of you. The power of an alumni network is undeniable, providing support and opportunities for a lifetime. So this is what we want to do. And then being an alumni is not just a title, but a lifelong commitment to the growth and success for the institution. And then actually, I also have the last one. When you call my name, I'll write in front of you. But we know the ending time then. See you. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a great closing remark from Mai-sang. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking forward to your contact. If you have any questions, suggestions, or ideas, especially to collaborate together with Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia, you can contact our social media by searching HUAA or Hiroshima University Alumni Association Indonesia chapter. Thank you once again to Hiroshima University and PT Sumitomo Indonesia for your continued support. Hope to see you again. I am Novi signing off. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't forget to eat durian.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
everyone,
so
all
much,
the alumni and
everyone.
participants.
Yeah.
Thank you. Danar Sensei and
Bye-bye.
Kamrangsi
Thank you.
Sensei. See you.
Okay,
See
I'm
you.
leaving. Thank you.
I'm leaving. Thank you.